Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are tackling something that absolutely fascinates me. We're talking about transforming a chaotic, reactive business life into a highly predictable, growth-driven system. We are going to be breaking down the entrepreneur's blueprint for strategic weekly mastery. Look, if you've ever felt like your business is running you rather than you running your business, this blueprint is designed exactly for you. We're going to see how a weekly scheduler is literally one of the highest leverage systems you can implement to make sure your most important work actually gets done.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Think about your schedule right now. Is it an actual system, or is it just a wish list? Because most entrepreneurs operate off a to-do list, which, let's be honest, is usually just a wish list of things they hope to get done. A true schedule is a system that answers four absolutely vital questions. What are my goals? What should I do this week? When exactly will I do it? And did I actually do it? Without those four pillars, you're really just reacting to whatever fire burns the brightest that day. We need to move from a wish list to a concrete system, and the good news is you only need a couple of simple tools like Google Calendar and a tracking sheet to make this happen. So here is the visual blueprint of the four phases we're going to build together today. Phase 1, building the foundation. Phase 2, the weekly planning engine. Phase 3, daily discipline and scorecards. And finally, Phase 4, mastering the CEO hour.
All right, Phase 1, building the foundation. This is all about defining our goals and categories. Before you can even begin planning a single week, your actions have to be anchored to macro-level annual targets. For example, let's look at a business owner who's managing an existing company, Bageshwari Tractor, while launching a brand new brand called EVEREST Tractor Parts. Their business goals are very concrete. Increase monthly tractor sales from 60 lakh to 1 crore NPR, successfully launch that new EVEREST brand, and expand the dealer network. But beyond the business, they also define personal targets, right? Things like improving health, reading business books, and spending quality family time. Everything in your schedule, business and personal, must directly support these defined annual goals.
Now, to actually hit those targets, we have to categorize them. As a business owner, you really shouldn't have random tasks just floating around. Every single action you take must fall into one of these 5 core focus categories. We've got sales growth, like dealer visits, operations, like supplier coordination, finance, like your cash flow review, strategic growth for developing that new EVEREST brand, and personal development. If a task doesn't fit neatly into one of these 5 buckets, you really need to take a step back and question why you're doing it at all.
Let's move to Phase 2 and see how this builds. The weekly planning engine, focusing on templates and time blocks.
Okay, now we take those broad goals and engine mount them into an actionable weekly template. It's like a giant puzzle. From 7 to 8 a.m., that's planning. 9 to 1 p.m. is completely dedicated to business operations. Then the afternoon, 2 to 5 p.m., is blocked out specifically for sales and growth. The secret sauce here is creating a repeatable baseline. Highly successful entrepreneurs do not just wake up in the morning and decide what to do that day. No way. They follow a meticulously designed, pre-decided structure exactly like this one, which completely removes decision fatigue and guarantees that time is always allocated to growth.
Inside that structure, you need a weekly planning session. Honestly, this is arguably the most important 60 minutes of your entire week. Every Sunday evening or Monday morning, you sit down and ask yourself one simple question. What are the 3 biggest wins this week? For our tractor business owner, it might be finalizing the EVEREST packaging supplier, visiting 5 major dealers, and collecting outstanding receivables. You've got to limit yourself to just 3 to 5 high-priority wins. Do not fall into the trap of creating a 30-item to-do list. That is exactly why so many business owners fail to move the needle.
And this brilliantly illustrates the massive difference between amateurs and professionals when mapping out those priorities. A generic list like dealer visit, inventory review, collection calls. That's vague and has absolutely zero commitment attached to it. The professional approach utilizes highly specific time block calendar slots. Tuesday, 10 to 12, dealer visit. Wednesday, 2 to 4, inventory review. Friday, 11 to 1, collections. See the difference? If a priority is truly important, it doesn't just go on a list. It gets a highly specific, non-negotiable block of time on your calendar.
Moving right along to Phase 3, daily discipline and scorecards. This is where we execute the plan.
Because let's be real, a brilliant weekly plan is completely useless if it doesn't survive contact with reality. Execution starts with a daily planning ritual. Every single evening, you spend just 10 minutes writing down tomorrow's top 3 tasks. For example, calling the Suarez distributor, reviewing the bearing inventory, and meeting the dealer in Kolhapur. This quick, powerful 10-minute ritual essentially preloads your brain. When you wake up the next morning, there is zero hesitation. You know exactly what your priorities are the second you walk into the office. Now, to keep yourself accountable to those daily tasks, the Blueprint introduces this incredible tool, the Daily Discipline Scorecard. I absolutely love this because it kind of gamifies your productivity. Every day you rate yourself out of 10 points in 5 areas. Did you start on time? Did you follow your schedule? Did you avoid distractions? Did you finish priorities? And did you do your end-of-day review? The maximum score is 50. Tracking your own behavior and scoring yourself like this dramatically improves performance, mostly because it forces you to be brutally honest with yourself at the end of every single day.
Alongside grading your discipline, you're also going to track your task completion rate. It's simple math. If you had 5 crucial tasks planned for the day and you completed 4 of them, you simply divide completed by planned. So 4 completed out of 5 gives you an 80% completion rate for that day.
So the crucial point I want to focus on here is that 80%. I want to aggressively highlight this because it relieves so much pressure. According to the Blueprint's discipline rating system, an 80 to 89% is considered a strong consistency rating. Sure, 90 and above is elite, but your goal isn't paralyzing perfection. Your goal is simply an 80% or higher consistency rate day in and day out. That consistency is what compounds into massive business growth over a year.
Finally, we arrive at Phase 4, Mastering the CEO Hour, Tracking and Adjusting. This is where you step back from the daily grind of selling tractors and managing inventory, and you actually act like the true CEO of your own system. And to do that properly, you need data. You must track specific weekly KPIs, or key performance indicators, for an operation like Bageshwari Tractor. We're talking sales revenue, collections, dealer visits, new customers, outstanding receivables, and inventory turnover. Tracking these specific numbers is vital. Why? Well, because they tell you definitively if your newly scheduled time blocks are actually creating real-world financial results. If you're hitting your 80% discipline score, but these numbers aren't moving, well, your plan is flawed and needs adjusting.
Armed with that data, you refine your system into a custom operating rhythm. Just look at how our entrepreneur balances the established Bageshwari operation and the new EVEREST brand by dedicating specific days to specific themes. Sunday is for planning and finance. Monday is strictly inventory and suppliers. Tuesday through Thursday, completely focused on dealers and sales growth. Fridays for collections, and Saturday is purely dedicated to growing the new EVEREST brand and marketing. This structure is a lifesaver because it prevents constant context switching and reacting to urgent but ultimately unimportant issues.
And the linchpin holding this entire system together? The CEO Hour. Every Sunday, you reserve one uninterrupted hour to review your KPIs, review your discipline score, and ask yourself these 5 exact questions. What worked this week? What wasted my time? What actually made money? What problems repeated themselves? And what are next week's top 3 priorities? Reserving this time to look at your business from a bird's eye view is literally the single habit that will transform a chaotic business into a predictable machine over time.
It all really boils down to this one powerful quote from the Blueprint. The goal is not to fill every hour. The goal is to make sure the most important work gets done consistently. It is so easy to fall into the trap of busyness, but busyness is not productivity. This blueprint is fundamentally about focusing on leverage. It's about designing a system that guarantees the things that actually grow your business, like visiting those dealers and launching new brands, always get your prime time and your best energy. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one provocative thought to immediately kickstart your own CEO Hour mindset. I want you to look back at the last 7 days of your life and ask yourself honestly, what wasted your time this week? Identify it, eliminate it from your upcoming week, and start building your own system of strategic mastery. Thanks so much for joining me today, and hey, I highly encourage you to start time blocking your top 3 priorities for tomorrow right now.